the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch holds that you have to, that the one that's running the Seder washes his hands and explains to people the whole inyan of Tibui B'mashke. And in the footnote it says over here that everybody does it, and I explained that today a lot of Chabad houses do it this way, where
only one person does it.
They make a part of a ritual out of it and a whole thing. Well, the Yekis, they do it that way also. So, just to read the words of Gimel. Achakach yichas yadav, v'lo yivarech aleim, u'menagvam, and he dries them. V'choytech min ha-kappas, he cuts up for the kappas, asks for himself. V'chol b'nei beisay. V'chol echad pochas mikazayis. Because if it's a kazayis, then the question would about a bracha achrayna. V'tayvlan b'mei mel, he dips it into the salt water. U'mavochem bar pri adama. Umechavnen, and you have in mind also Rivta bebracha zu gam es hamora, and we hold, but in our God said also the mother, both mothers, the mother from the kairach and the mother from the just mother. V'oichel gam kein ba'seva small, and we don't eat it, but ba'seva.
No.
Okay.
But could you do that with a fork also?
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't make a difference if your hands get wet or don't get wet.
Right.
Right. Looking for...
Achakach, after this, noitel ha-matzah ha-amtzoyis. You take the middle matzah, v'cholko l'shnei chalakim, and you divide it into two parts. U'meniach es ha-chelek ha-gadol, eitzah meshaveh l'afikomen. He puts away the larger part for the afikomen. V'noigen l'koche b'mapa, and you wrap it in a cloth. Zecher l'mashakosev misharoisam tzuruas b'simloisam. It says over there that when they went out of Mitzrayim, so they were carrying like their bundles, and it said misharoisam means their dough. The dough tzuruas b'simloisam was in the clothing and something that they carried it.
People have a minute to put it on their shoulder and do that, and to say that.
Yeah. By Sfadim they do that.
They put it on their shoulders and say it.
There's people that put that on the shoulder. That became popular when the Iranians came here, and they made the first year that they came, they made a seder downstairs over here in the other building where they make the l'chaims. So at that time we saw the minhagim that they brought with them. And this is exactly inside.
Chabad macht man nicht, aber die ganze Welt macht das nicht.
Huh?
Chabad macht man nicht.
Macht es nicht.
Nein, aber in der ganzen Welt
Macht es ja?
das macht.
Mehr muss gesagt von der Sfadim, von der Iraner.
Das ist wahr.
My father's not Jewish.
Die ganze
Okay.
Welt.
My father wasn't Chabad. He wasn't Gesher. My father wasn't Gesher.
And he says over here,
Was mit weniger Magressa kostet?
Ufisha Afikoiman
Leider.
who b'makam ha-Pesach, that Afikoiman is in place of the Pesach. Rochen hu choshev is very choshev. V'yiyah ha-chelek ha-gadol, and so the bigger piece should be for the Afikoiman. V'chelek ha-kotten marzira l'kaira l'mkaimai. He puts it back.
So it's based on this, we go with this one. There were three of them, because it says take the middle one. So we had three. It's not
No,
like those.
you broke the middle one.
I know, it says that we had to break the middle. We spoke the other day that some monogamy only have two matzahs.
Yeah, that's
So
not our minhag.
I know, but here it has to be, obviously we're talking about three.
But over here,
Das war gemischt.
Ja, aber Divas haben nur zwei. Die hätten noch wegen Divas haben drei. Weil sagt, und sagt dann, nehmt die mittelste
Ich will
Mathe.
dabei sein, dass der zweite ist ein Mal nach dem Moini.
The,
Aber wenn es
the,
darf doch 2 Gewichte.
over here he says that you put away the bigger hair because it's choshever. I think the Rebbe writes, or it said in other Agadas, that the bigger half is a remes to the Gula Sida. And the Gula Sida stated to be greater than the previous Golas. And incidentally, there's a story that by one of the Rabbeim, somebody broke the matzah, and he was measuring the matzah, which one was the bigger half. And someone gave him the comment and said, a godel was medafim mesnes can godel it. In other words, it has to be obvious that he's a godel.
They have this hydroponic lettuce. You said it with the hadama, Afrikaner with the hadama.
But the carpas you're talking
No,
about.
the carpas.
Yeah, so.
You said it needs to be hadama,
Yeah.
the Roman lettuce.
Right. Umagala tsas esamasus.
It's not Roman lettuce.
Yeah, the carpas.
Carpet is onion and potatoes.
And he uncovered the matzah, umagbias akaida. Now we don't pick up the kaida, because you're going to say, holach ma'anyo. So, magbia is like to say, here, this is to demonstrate it. But, so we don't do that, we just uncover the matzah. V'aimim holach ma'anyo, diachol abasano, ad roshana haba b'nei chayrin. V'ha'omrim, there's different nusach. We say, heilach ma'anya. And some say, kirhalach ma'anya. Kirhalach means like this bread, like this bread. So he said, that those who say, kirhalach ma'anya, lo yoimu tevas dia achol abasana. D means that they ate. This one this is not the one that they ate. Okay, so in Holach Ma'anya is a popular question that people ask about the Holach Ma'anya. That it's saying that in Holach Ma'anya, called the fin Yesef Yechel, called the Tzich Yesef Yitzchak. So L'chayre, they ask a question that Amol Gezeiten in the shul after davening, so there would be guests. Guests could be poor people, whatever it is, and they would be divided amongst the members of the shul. In other words, everyone would take home with him a guest. So l'chayre, you should have said this in the shul when you were dividing the guests. Then you should have said, "Call the friend Yisrael b'Yechel, call the Sech Yisrael b'Yitzchak."
He's already in his house. No one's going to come anyway.
Because now you're in your house already,
Right.
and nobody hears you, right? That's the question. So the answer is, I say, that it's not an invitation to the guest, but it's a message to the guest. A message to the guest that you invited already. There is a din that Korban Pesach is Nechal al HaSoiva. What does it mean, Nechal al HaSoiva? Nechal al HaSoiva means that you shouldn't eat you should eat the korban as a dessert. What's a dessert? A dessert is something after you have your meal, so then you have a little bit. It's called in Hebrew. It's called a kinuach suda. Kinuach suda, it washes down the meal. Okay, that's what kinuach suda means. So, Meir says, dinner's a say. Yeah, but you shouldn't eat the Pesach as the main part of the meal. Now, if you're hungry, and that's your main part of the meal. It has to be as a dessert. That's the idea of Afikomen. Afikomen comes like a dessert. So B'meila, the Baal Boss, the head of the family, he invited some guests to the table. And now he's saying to the table to them as follows: Kol Fin, if you do not eat before and you're hungry, then you'll come with us and you'll eat a meal together with us. Kol Desrich, whoever only needs a little bit more, he's not hungry, he ate already, he ate already before, so come with us and make the Korban Pesach. That's the message of Holach Ma'anya.
What's very interesting, but the halacha is, am soll nicht essen zu viel, am soll dann a dober
That's
Mord,
right.
but
That's what it is. It's necha.
darf sein,
That's necha ala saiba.
Man soll nicht einmal nicht alles sagen.
Right.
Das ist ja eine kleine Differenz zu verstehen, wo alles.
In America, they can make a banquet, and they can give you food to eat, like McKenzie Platz werden, and you think everyone is hungry. And after that, they have in the lobby a whole sweet table, and everyone walks out of there chapters as though they never ate before,
Now they have an extra thing that they give you hot cocoa and cookies to take in the car.
Oh, okay.
They have a whole table now. You can take chocolate chip cookies, right? After the sweet table.
Achar kach,
People pay for it. People pay for it.
No.
Achar kach after this, Moiskin Koishnia. So I already explained that Moisden does not mean you pour the second kais. Moisden means you mix the second kais. Because am Morgenzeiten, they didn't serve wine straight from the bottle, because the wine was very strong and it had to be mixed. To diluted, and everybody had it the way he liked it. Stronger, weaker, like the different levels, So that's the real touch of the word moisgin. Moisgin koshnia, vatinik shoyel, and the child asks, manishtan.
So do we not pour the second cup?
What was that?
So now you said that you mix it. He's asking, so do you mix it? Do you pour it or you don't pour it?
It is poured, but moisgin is much more than pouring.
The word moisgin means more than that.
I'm saying what the touch of the word moisgin is. V'im ein tinik, yishol ben ach. If there's no little child, so then it could be an older child. Oy bitay. This is a very interesting thing. I mean, in Shulchan Aruch, I don't think it says the word bitay, but over here it says the word bitay. The daughter could ask, oy chaveirai, oy ishtay, or his wife, and
He doesn't have any of those. He says himself.
And our minhag is that everybody asks the manashtana. Even the head, the way he explains it over here, so all these people are asking the head of the family or the head of the table, they're asking him. And our minhag is that everybody, including the head of the table, asks the manashtana.
So it looks like over here, if just one kid could ask the questions and that's it, the whole table.
Technically,
One person asks that. According to what it says over here, there has to be someone asking.
but the Rebbe say there was only one person asked, or more than one person asked.
Alle.
But
Wer ist der Alle? Wer ist ein Alle?
Alle sind besuddet, darf jeder in der
Beim Rebbe say the Frage.
But I think I don't remember. I
Barry
think
used to ask.
Not Barry, no. There was Yankel Katz from Chicago had a somebody named Heshi, and Heshi would come
Say
together with his father, and he would ask the manashtana.
So he was one person that asked.
I
That's
think
it.
so. Yeah, but the minute was everyone asked.
Everyone says it because it's the lashon of the Haggadah.
Asked it quietly.
Yeah, because you have to say the whole Haggadah. You have to say Manashtana. Alle sagen, das war Zachelik von der Haggadah. Yeah, das steht in der Haggadah.
V'achar kach, and after that's done, Oimem we say Avodim Ayinu. And he says, "V'hanochen." The right thing is, "L'farish lebnei beisai divrei haggadah b'loshen shem mevinim," to explain in the language that they will understand. Now, there's a famous story that the Rebbe once went to visit. He used to go to visit different Sidorim. When he would go to the Bochum, where the Bochum made. The Bochum at one time made it in the Verband upstairs over there, and then later they made it in 1414. He also went to your place, the 824, and he also went to the Russians in Free, and he also went to Mochen Chana, also down the block on President Street. There's a famous story over there that by the Mochen Chana Seder, so they had Moshe Feller there, and Moshe Feller's job was to conduct the Seder. For the girls, the girl about Shuvas, and there was a kid over there, and the Rebbe asked
his son. It was Moshe's son.
What did the Rebbe ask him?
He asked him if he knows the 4 questions.
If he knows the 4 questions. And then he asked
Then as he turned around and he asked his father, "Do you know the answer?"
Oh.
So everybody laughed. Everybody thought it was a joke.
So the truth is,
The next day,
I used to in the morning, Pesach in the morning in shul, like to ask the kids, the same thing. I mean, not outside of Chas v'Shalom, but I would ask the kids, did you ask the 4 question? Yeah. No, what's the answer? They all look at me, There are people that when they say the Agoda, so they start Tatach what the fragrant 4 kashas, and at the end, after they finish the 4 kashas, they say Tatach about your 4 kasha, jetzt gib mir a teretz. And the father would start to say the Bastang, and the teretz is Avodim Ayinu Parab Mitzrayim. So it seems like the Haggadah is the teretz to the 4 kashas. It's I can say someone wrote a book for the 4 kashas, but it doesn't make any sense at all. Because you're talking over here, imagine, let's say you're talking over here to, the way he says it in the beginning, he says that the tinnik should ask. Who's a tinnik? A tinnik means a 5-year-old, 7-year-old, a tinnik. Now, could you imagine, let's say, a tinnik asking 4 questions, and the father is giving him an answer that will take 2 hours? There's no doubt in my mind that this tinnik will fall asleep in the middle of the answer, and he'll never figure out what the answer is.
That's why they never tell you the
So
answer.
it doesn't make sense to say that the Haggadah, starting with Avodim Ayinu, that's the answer to the 4 questions. That doesn't make sense. So where's the answer to the call is as when someone asks you a question, you have to answer him. You have to answer him, but don't filibuster him with your answer. You have to give him a clear cut, like a shape and puzzle. B'shinamtum uvanecha. You should be clear and succinct and sharp, and that's the answer. So the answer is, over here it just says, after that you start to say Avodim Ayinu. I don't like that expression. After that comes the answer. And the answer is a 1-line answer.
Avodim Ayinu.
Avodim Ayinu Parab Mitzrayim, number 1. And Vayitzeinu Hashem Elokeinu Misham B'yod Chazak Ozaynu Tuyah. And this answer of 2 parts answers all the 4 questions. How does it answer the 4 questions? Basically, you're saying to this child, you asked me 4 questions. If you analyze the 4 questions, you'll notice that some parts have to do with the Mitzrayim, with the Shivut Mitzrayim, and some parts have to do with the Geula, with the liberation from Mitzrayim. When we were in Mitzrayim, they tortured us. When we came out of Mitzrayim, we're free people. So let's go now to your questions. If you ask me a question, why in why color ein ander birum, let's go with the Babich Nusach. Ein ander birum par step woman. You know why? Because Avodah Mayinu Uparim Mitzrayim. So Mela, this reminds us the tibul dipping into the salt water or dipping into the charaises. This reminds us of the Avdos, and like that's your answer because because Avodah Mayinu Uparim Mitzrayim. When you ask me why every year we don't recline when we eat. Yeshun Haraga Kulanim Besubim. You know why Kulanim Besubim? Because Vayetzienu Hashem Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim B'Chazakos. Eivah took us out. So we're free people. When you ask me why we eat mora, the answer is because Avodah Mayinu, part of Mitzrayim. When you ask me why we eat matzah, only matzah, because the matzah reminds us of the Geula, and Vayetzienu Hashem B'Chazakos.
So that line
So
cover everything.
these four questions, yes, break up into two categories, and one category is because of Avodah Mayinu Uparim Mitzrayim, and the other category is because of Vayetzienu Hashem B'Chazakos Chazak. That's the answer. The rest of the Agada is just a narration or a hypothetical. What would be if we're Haitzak Hakadosh Baruch Hu? The little kid is not interested in that. That part doesn't. He can go to sleep already now, because he got an answer to these four questions. A very simple answer. So and that's what he means over here. That you should explain the Agoda means not that you should explain the Agoda. You should explain him this one line of all the Father of the explain
Is
this,
the answer.
This one line. And he'll have an answer to these four questions. So if we'll come to shul in the morning and the rabbi will ask him, did you answer the four questions? Oh, yeah. Did you get an answer? Yes. What was the answer? About the That was the whole. That's the whole thing. The rest is hypothetical. What would be if the Eibusher wouldn't take us out? This kid's mind isn't geared for hypothetical questions. What would be if? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good.